First Lady Melania Trump is set to receive the Patriot of the Year award at the Fox Nation Patriot Awards. It's the same award her husband, President Trump, received last year. The First Lady has been active on the political scene over the last 12 months. And in March, she participated in a Capitol Hill roundtable about the Take It Down Act, which combats the spread of non-consensual intimate images generated and spread online. In August, the First Lady hand-delivered Russian President Vladimir Putin a peace letter during his summit with Trump in Alaska over the protection of displaced Ukrainian children during the Russia-Ukraine war. Now, since that letter was delivered, over 1,700 kids have left the war-torn country and have returned safely to their families. That letter reads in part a simple yet profound concept, Mr. Putin, as I am sure you agree, is that each generation's descendants begin their lives with a purity and innocence which stands above geography, government, and ideology. Marie, you worked at the State Department, and I know that you'll agree with me in that it is rare to see a First Lady exert her voice like this directly to a foreign leader and get a tangible result, not just any foreign leader, but an adversary like Vladimir Putin.
Right, and it was interesting. One of the headlines when I was reading for the segment today, it said, from reluctant to ruling First Lady. And I do think we've seen her come more into her own in the second term. Doing things like that. Writing Vladimir Putin is not an easy thing to do or a comfortable thing to do. It feels, and that's an incredibly important issue, right, that she wrote to him about, in addition to ending the war in general. So I think we see her finding ways to, and look, Donald Trump takes up all the energy in the room, right? He's like this huge personality. I think she's increasingly finding ways to make her mark, and I think that's one of them, Kayleigh. And it's an important one, because if you, on an issue like that, you need to appeal to some, I don't know, emotion, like family. You need to, it hasn't been solved. You need to try and get it another way. And First Ladies can often do that, right? They bring another voice to a conversation.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, Emily, and then you have Melania legislation, the Take It Down Act. She personally went to Congress, advocated for that, and got an actual result, got a bill passed into law.
Yeah, and I think as a former criminal attorney, I am so grateful to her because she did something that, frankly, no other laws were able to do, which is ensure that the platforms take it down within 48 hours. You know, much has been made about revenge porn laws, and rightly so, but it's a state patchwork. And the reality is you have to prove malicious intent for anything to happen, and then they don't get taken down. So here she comes in, and finally, which, by the way, have we not seen demonstrated in the last 30 days how it's very difficult to get anything passed on the Hill. And yet here she is that gets something passed that forces the takedown on the platform level that does not require the malicious intent, including for if the perp is a minor. And it really makes a difference, I think, as you're looking for in so many day-to-day law enforcement activities, when they say my hands are tied, or after the arrest, there's nothing that happens, there's no justice, there's no sentencing, there's no remedy that actually assuages the victims and what they're going through. And the First Lady did this. And regardless of her position as First Lady, this is historic, and there are millions of Americans that are so deeply grateful and positively impacted by her work there.
And there are undercovered things that she did. They don't get a lot of coverage. Like in May, the White House announced that it was the First Lady who secured a $25 million investment in the fiscal budget that provides housing and other support for youth transitioning out of foster care. That's an issue near and dear to my heart, Rosanna. And she made a difference there.
I have to say that she's really grown into this First Lady role. You know, the first term, if you remember, she would just do these subtle messages like on her clothes, the jacket, don't care, you know, and it was like messages to the journalists out there. Now she's kind of grown into the role. She's taken on the weaponization of technology head on. By the way, she has been victimized by that. Her son has been victimized by that. She's not afraid to take it on head on, and I think it's great to see her just like, I don't know, flourish this term.
Yeah, the legislator, the diplomat, Brian.
She's got AI for kids. Remember, she's pushing back on that and working on legislation to make sure kids understand AI and the dangers. But when she would tell her husband, the President of the United States, every time you talk to Vladimir Putin, he bombs innocent people after. He just hit a school the other day. And President Trump told that story. And I feel ridiculous saying this in front of you because you saw everything up close and personal. When I've seen them together, so when they write the Donald Trump story as president and businessman, they're going to realize, if they do a good job, the role and the respect that he has for her and the role that he has in terms of an advisor for her. The biggest misconception is that she's aloof and not with him or their relationship isn't strong. she is his key advisor.
Oh, without question. And I saw that during my tenure. He respects her opinion, he values it, and she gives her opinion.
Oh, she gives.
She gives it. That's
Yeah.
right.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.